Well, good morning, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope you guys are all having a great Sunday. We'll be doing our live stream at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll do a debrief. Just finished dropping off David Wiley. DMV is headed back to his life. Game time, Brian. His wife is just about here to pick him up and go. And it's kind of weird because for the last 4 days, it's been the five of us, and Primetime Phil made it home last night about 11. But it's been the five of us, all together, all these voices and things that have been here together, and now everybody is gone back to life, back to reality and stuff. My voice is a little bit hoarse from all of the talking that we did, but that was an incredible trip. I'm going to probably piss some people off when I say this, but I've never been the mock draft guy. Just have not been. And everybody's like, oh, we need your mock draft, man. What you think? And I always say, logically speaking, it's impossible to come up with a mock draft that actually means anything. It just does. And for us as Joe the fan, that we go through and we get so excited, and the same guys that are making mock drafts and basically telling us which players are good and which ones are bad. If you originally said, well, this player is this good and that blah, 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 and the teams don't see it as that, and that player ends up not being good, then that means you're picking of them, or you're rating after the fact. If you were wrong to begin with and who was going to take who, then how does your rating of the draft mean anything either? It seems like every off season we have a team that, they won the draft, they're a Super Bowl favorite now. Well, okay, I'm betting that very few, and maybe I should take, say, Mel Kiper's final mock draft that he put out. Everybody did their final mock draft, the night before. Everybody said that C.J. Stroud was going to be dropping like a rock, and he ends up being the number 2 pick. And the thing that's always funny is I remember last year, Skip and Shannon talking about Tyler Smith, the draft pick for Tyler Smith. Oh, they said, well, they should have actually went for center. Skip. This guy, he had the most penalties in college football. He gonna have like 200 as a pro. Man, this is a terrible pick. Well, you have to say, if they hadn't picked him, with Tyron Smith getting hurt, which is doing what Tyron Smith does, we would have been in trouble. Deep shit. And you look back and say, as a rookie, he was one of the better offensive linemen that were in that draft. But yet, the guys who did the mock drafts didn't have us taking that guy. And I'll even go back to the year before with Micah Parsons, because I remember DMV, I'm throwing him under the bus, he wasn't happy about Micah Parsons because people said, oh man, that's a wasted pick. You could have had. Okay, you could have had. This guy is going to be generational. Okay. Kind of like Ryan Leaf was going to be, right? He had the big upside, right? Yeah. So don't get all bent out of shape by what happens in the draft. When we did the draft in 2016, and we drafted Dak Prescott when the Cowboys wanted to trade up for Paxton Lynch. Oh, the Cowboys missed out on Paxton Lynch. It's good to be excited. It's good to be happy about what your team did. It's good to look and say, well, we got this, and hope that that player is going to be what they're going to be. But, many, many years ago, I remember writing a blog that actually got Charles Haley to put Joe Boo as the Facebook profile. I was talking about how Charles Haley went to a Division I AA school that never had a winning record, okay? Was a 4th round pick by the San Francisco 49ers, and at the time ended up being the first player to win 5 Super Bowls, and was the key reason, one of the key reasons why the Dallas Cowboys had the power shift from the San Francisco 49ers to the Cowboys, him leaving San Francisco and going to Dallas. And I looked at it because the other one was, God, can't remember his name now, offensive lineman that was going to revolutionize football, that was drafted by the Green Bay Packers, that ended up being basically, I won't say it was a bust because he did last for several years, but he wasn't all that people thought he was going to be. And I can remember about guys like, Giovanni and Clowney, that this guy is going to be, if you looked at the draft ratings, that he was going to be a perennial all-pro. Never lived up to the billing. So when David asked me, what do you think about the draft? I said, I'll get back to you in a couple of years and let you know about this draft. I will say that the Cowboys stuck to their board of things that they needed, especially because what the Cowboys like to do with that first pick is to get a top prospect at a position. Okay? They ended up getting the number 2 rated, and that's if you believe the ratings, the number 2 rated defensive lineman. Right or wrong, that's what the Cowboys like to do with the first round pick. And they stuck with that, and that's the formula. So they look and say, we've got the best prospect out there. To me, it literally blew my mind that the Cowboys did that. That the Cowboys actually went for a defensive tackle, because they typically don't value defensive linemen. It's kind of like, meh. But this is the Dan Quinn influence. Like, Dan Quinn has a lot of influence in that building. And Dan Quinn has probably gone to them and says, hey, you want the Legion of Boom too? Here's what I need. And systematically, he has reshaped that defense completely right before our eyes. And while he has done it, has ended up getting better every year. So hopefully this will be the pinnacle of what Dan Quinn has done. Whew. 17 hours of driving. Well, actually 18 now, when I took David home. Man. It almost feels like a blur right now. It's crazy because I do a lot of content, and I am the one take guy. Maybe I should change, Joe Boo Sports Report to one take, because basically I'm here in front of the camera, I say what I gotta say, and I upload it. I don't usually watch what happened, and watching that first night of the draft, the pick being in, that was totally different than what I expected to actually say. But I'm very, very proud of what we did. Not everything worked to perfection. The second night where we thought we were going to be at a bar, it needed better execution. The bar we were at was just too noisy to do what we wanted to do, but that's okay. I think it was a good experience, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And we'll talk about it in about 5.5 hours from now. I'm Mark Holmes. Well, I appreciate you guys. Peace.